Hello everyone. Today I got three more absolutely amazing, creepy, freak you out kind of horror books. Ones that I'm sure you're going to want to read. These three are simply, as always, just fantastic. I can't say that enough about the books I get to review. They are just, I love when I'm on a reading spree like this and they just all become bangers. And it always makes my little black heart happy. As a reminder though, I have horror books for sale, and if you don't know, I have my debut horror novel called Pray for Salvation is available right now, and there's a link down below in the description where you can pick that one up along with all the rest of my horror books, most of which are only $1 each. So be sure to check out that link. And if you want to get them all for free, well, go ahead and check out my Patreon, because you can get all my books for free there. You can also get free short horror stories every month. And of course, all my future books will be available for all my Patreon members at no charge. And if you like merch, maybe you need a coffee mug. Who doesn't need another coffee mug? Maybe you need a t-shirt or a sweatshirt. Well, how about these ones here? Horror is my happy place. And you can find a link down below for those as well. All right, let's get started. All right, so the first book we're going to talk about today is called Domestication. This one, oh man, this is a psychological horror story that will just give you all the creeps, man. I mean, the goosebumps and the hair standing up on the back of your neck. It's just that good. And this novel is really about abuse, control, and manipulation. It's about a woman who's escaping her very abusive relationship with her husband. She's planned this for months behind his back. She found an isolated, out of the way, in the middle of nowhere kind of sheep farm where people have told her through online support groups that she can find a job there. She can go there and toughen herself up with farm work and get paid, and nobody will know where she is because it's so far out of anybody's radar. Sounds perfect to her. And when we begin the novel, she's just getting dropped off and walking the distance up that long driveway to the sheep farm, and we'll learn more about her as that happens. But when she gets to the farm, she's going to meet the owner, an older lady named Rob, and another farmhand named Howard. But this book does not take long to get into the terrifying stages of what's going to happen, because she very, very soon finds herself trapped at this farm. She cannot escape. She may not be a prisoner in the sense that she's locked up with no chance to go anywhere, but still, she's basically a prisoner there. Rob and Howard have some very strange, creepy ideas about about working on a farm and what it means to not only the animals but the human animals as well. And she's going to uncover things on this farm which are nothing good. Let me just say that. But she comes from an abusive relationship. She's been controlled and manipulated in this relationship during the whole time. So she knows a thing or two about what these people are trying to do. And so she has to come up with her own plan, utilizing the things she's learned when she was with her very abusive husband. But this book just goes to places that I did not expect. Extremely psychologically terrifying places. I'm telling you, this book is disturbing. It is horrifying. It will stick with you after you read it. There are scenes that will just pop into your head every so often after you're done, and that's a very, very good thing. That's how effective this book was. It's extremely well written. It really needs to be on everybody's radar. I haven't heard many people talking about it, but I think we can all change that. I think you should pick up your copy at the link in the description and we should start getting the message out there, because this book is simply fantastic. I would say it's a must read if you love psychological horror, because this will take you places you've never read about before. I absolutely loved it, highly recommend it, and there's a link in the description where you can get your copy. And next we have Withered Hill. This one's coming out next month, but there is a pre-order link in the description, of course. And here's the thing. So far this year, this is my favorite folk horror novel. That's how much this book affected me and how well written it is. It's probably one of my top 5 favorite folk horror novels of all time. And I like folk horror. I've read a lot of folk horror, so that's for me, that's saying something. But that's how good this book is. And this is about a woman, and she wakes up one day in the middle of the woods. She is completely naked. She is covered in dirt and grime and leaves. Her mouth is filled with leaves and twigs and dirt and stuff. And she has no memory at all. She doesn't know who she is, how she wound up there, or if she's even supposed to be there. She does not know. She stumbles into a town, a very creepy town. We're going to learn right away. And you'll have to read about that. I'm not going to give anything away. But yeah, almost right away, you know this is a very creepy town. But when she gets to the post office, an old, nice woman meets her there. And pretty soon it becomes obvious that all of these people in this town seem to have been expecting her. Like they knew she was coming. And she's kind of treated like royalty, almost. Like she doesn't have to work. If she wants anything, she can go into any store, just ask somebody, and it will be delivered to her. Because that's the way they do things in Withered Hill. That's the way of Withered Hill. You're going to hear that expression a lot, and it makes sense. Because this book is written in like from the before time, before she entered Withered Hill. As her memories start coming back, we're going to see exactly what led up to where she found herself in the woods at the beginning of the book. It's written from her first few weeks, days, and months in Withered Hill. We're going to go back at that time and find out how all this transpired. And it's also written from the kind of the current day, where she's been there almost a year. And here's the thing about Withered Hill, though, is that she cannot leave. She's not allowed to leave. The townspeople are not keeping her there. Everybody seems to be nice and friendly and open arms to her. They're not stopping her from leaving, but the town itself will not let her leave. And she tries to escape several times to no avail. This town will not let her leave until she's ready. And everybody keeps saying, when you're ready, you'll have to leave. It comes to the point where she loves living there so much without any internet, without any phone coverage, with no modern amenities really. But she loves living there so much that she thinks maybe she doesn't want to leave anymore after like a year, right? She's kind of not looking forward to it when they tell her that she's going to be able to leave very soon, as soon as she builds her bower, which she has no idea what it means, and nobody will tell her what it means. It's something she has to figure out on her own. So it's told in all these different perspectives, but it's told so perfectly that way that it's never confusing. It's never convoluted. It's a one seamless, horrifying story. And at the end, I'm not going to tell you why. I can't tell you why, but when you find out what's really going on, it changes your perception of what you've read. It's just a big mind-bending twist at the end, that I absolutely fell in love with. And it put a whole new spin on ending a book on a very horrifying note. Let me just put it that way. Oh, but this book is fantastic. Her time in this town, the time leading up to it, and all the rest, it just works fantastically. I love this book. My favorite folk horror book of the year so far. I highly recommend it. And as I said, there is a pre-order link in the description. And next we have Twilight of Evil, Mountain Bike Massacre. Hey, do you love slasher books? I love a good slasher book. This one is a prequel to another novella, but this novella here sets this up so perfectly. I absolutely love this book because it is like an 80s throwback slasher book. That's what it is. From the very first chapter, you're going to get this fantastic, terrifying kill, and it doesn't stop from there. I think there's like 11, 12, maybe 14 deaths in this little novella. But it all works together so well because some of these deaths are going to include a group of freshmen who are on their yearly camping trip on a high atop a mountain away from the rest of the town along with their chaperones. And you know when a slasher is about, that's always a bad idea. But of course they have no way of knowing there's a slasher. But people start dying in town and body parts start showing up. But here's the thing, this isn't just about the blood and gore, although it is bloody and it is gory. Don't get me wrong there, you are going to love that. But this actually has a really good story behind it. Like the killer has a sick, twisted motivation to it. And because it's a prequel, the ending was so perfect because it's like an 80s slasher franchise almost, you know, where the bad guy should be dead, but you know he's gonna pop back up. And he does, because like I said, this is a prequel, and we'll finish his story in another book, which I'll get to. I will review that one as well. Oh, but this is one, I got it on Book Funnels, I believe it was. I got it for free, and I didn't know what to expect, you know. I thought it was a little bloody novella, but it turned out to be really, really well written. Like, it was playing like a movie in my head the entire time I was reading it. I just had a smile on my face. I was so happy to be reading a good, solid, throwback slasher book, you know. My only complaint, as always, when it comes to these kind of things is I wish it was longer. I do. Yeah, that's what she said. Yeah. But I do. I wish this book was longer. I could have lived in that world for many, many more chapters. But like I said, there are subsequent books. So we're going to go ahead and follow through on that and get my old slasher fix in. Trust me on that. This one is fantastic. I absolutely loved it. It gives you all the thrills and the chills and all that chaos and blood and gore that comes with a good old slasher novel, you know, or novella. And yeah, it's one I highly, highly recommend. And of course, as always, you can find a link down below where you can pick up your copy through godless.com. And as always, I want to say thank you for taking some of your time and spending it here with me. And until we meet again, keep reading spooky, my friends.